Narcissistic jealousy and envy. If you have dealt with a narcissist, this is going to be one of the most problematic things that you've had to deal with. It ties in directly to the smear campaign and why it is so crucial for them to have you devalue yourself and reduce yourself to an object, to a person that has no meaning. So, the narcissist desperately needs you to sit down and shut up in order to have you not expose them. They don't want you to expose them, and how you expose them is simply by being yourself, by living your best life, and by doing what you know you should be doing. During the entire time with a narcissist in a relationship, whether that is a friendship or a romantic relationship, they are trying to steal your traits, your attributes, your qualities, so they can put on your personality as a mask. And your persona as a mask. And that's why it's so important that the narcissist silences you after the discard, regardless of who discarded who, in order to take on your attributes and make it look like they were you all along and you were them. This is one of the most painful aspects of dealing with a narcissist. So say you're really good at doing something, whether it be art, music, dance, photography, writing, chemistry, whatever it may be. And you're hanging out with a narcissist and you guys have business plans together. Or you guys are working on a company together. And the narcissist, because of their feelings of self-loathing and self-hatred, they know they won't be able to meet the challenge. They know they won't be able to rise to the occasion, but at the same time, they don't want you doing it. They would rather be you. And so, unfortunately, what they are going to do is try to steal those qualities from you so they can project that image to the world, and at the same time, try to bully you and cause a smear campaign in order to keep you from doing those things and prevent you from doing it. So if the truth comes out, then essentially people will start to notice, well, wait a minute, this person is educated, they have experience within the field, they seem to know what they're doing, they're nothing like what you described. But the narcissist, on the other hand, the facade, the show that they put on will start unraveling and coming apart. Partly because narcissists, when they first meet you, are pretending the entire time. They're pretending to have certain qualities and characteristics, usually ones that they stole from somebody else that aren't even theirs. So they may pretend, for example, to be very moral, or they may pretend to be very positive, or they may pretend to be healthy, good with their finances, educated, and these qualities aren't even real. However, they recognize that you have these qualities and they are trying to emulate those from you. So after the discard, when the narcissist is essentially trying to use your qualities as their new persona, if you're demonstrating these qualities and characteristics within the world, they pretty much don't have a leg to stand on. So what happens with the narcissist is when they do this smear campaign, it's important that they make you feel isolated, that they make you feel bullied, that they put you in hermit mode. They want you to feel feelings of self-worthiness. They want you to feel feelings of self-loathing. They want you to basically feel how they feel. Meanwhile, they're going to take on those attributes that you have and portray that persona to the world. So if you were a person that was really moral, if you were in a relationship with them and you didn't cheat on them, you were really loving towards them, what they're going to do is act like they were the one that was moral the entire time and you were actually the one that was immoral and cheating on them, etc. If you're sad, if you're having feelings of self-doubt, if you're isolating yourself, if you feel heartbroken, then there's a good chance when the narcissist is doing this, it may actually come off like there's some validity to it. What the narcissist does during a smear campaign is gossip about you, say things about you that's not true, in order to basically change your character into something that it's not. Some terms for it are character assassination. This is one of the attempts that is done in order to instill fear and make people think differently about you from how you really actually are. So they may try to say that you do drugs and you don't do drugs. They may try to say that you didn't graduate from high school and you actually are very educated. And especially if you're really connected to the narcissist, or if you were really connected to the narcissist, this causes a lot of pain and emotional suffering. As a result, you may not be your best self. You may seem sad. You may seem like you're letting yourself go. Like maybe you're not enjoying the normal activities you would enjoy, or taking care of your diet or your health and things like that. And the narcissist will use your sadness, your display of going through stress responses as a result of dealing with them, and use that as evidence in the smear campaign, in the gossip campaign. So for example, let's say you're heartbroken and you put on a little bit of weight. The narcissist will then use those photographs to confirm a negative idea about you, which isn't even true, which isn't the case at all. Another example is, let's say that the narcissist lied to you and betrayed you and you're emotional about it. And you call them and you confront them, not necessarily in a negative way, but you're like, I can't believe you would do this to me. You're emotional. The narcissist will take that voicemail or those text messages and use that and show them to people in order to validate a false identity, which isn't even real. Which is why it's so important that if you go through a discard with a narcissist, don't communicate with them, don't talk to them. It's like they're gathering up evidence to try to use against you. They may even intentionally provoke you in order to get a response out of you, and then delete what they said to provoke you and then show it to everybody and say, look, see, here's what they were saying about me. Look, see, here's the type of things that they do. There are actually narcissists, you might have met one or two like this, that will purposely insult you, call you names, say some of the darkest, meanest stuff. Like, let's say that you're a man and you wanted to marry a woman, but you guys had a miscarriage and you guys decided not to get married because of the stress, right? And you're dating a female narcissist and she says something like, oh, it's good you never had that child, or that's why that child. And they say something that's completely below the belt, totally inappropriate. They know that that's an emotional wound for you. They know it's something that really bothered you. It was a personal story that you shared with them, and now they're using it against you as an attack, right? So then in response, let's say, if this is all going on through text, that you say something really nasty to them. Let's say you call them the B word. Let's say you scream at them or you say something rude. They will then now use that as evidence in the smear campaign and say, look, see how he talks to me? See what he does to me? So some people call this, and this doesn't matter if it's what type of narcissist this is. These are the types of tactics that they use. So this is why, again, dealing with a narcissist, especially after the discard, it's imperative to not have any contact with them at all, because anything you say to them, any piece of information you give to them, they're going to use it and turn around and punish you for it later on. Or they're going to use it as a part of a smear campaign tactic to manipulate you. If you and the narcissist were on again, off again friends, or in a relationship, one of the techniques they'll do, which is very stressful, and this also happens with family members that are narcissists as well, is they will take what you said to them during an argument where maybe they said some really inappropriate things to you. And you guys both decided later on, let bygones be bygones. We're not going to talk about this anymore. Yes, I was wrong. The narcissist may even admit that they were wrong. They might say, I should not have called you those names. I should not have done those things to you. I understand why you reacted that way. And you feel like, okay, you guys have made peace, you've worked it out, you've let it go, you've talked it out. And then it will be 6 months later or 3 months later, they'll take that same piece of information and try to use it against you and reopen up the fight and reopen up the argument. This is one of the ways that narcissists keep that fear going and that stress response going. They have to use fuel, and the fuel is you reacting to them. Narcissists need your emotion. The best thing to do with a narcissist is to not give them emotion, to emotionally detach from them, to stay disconnected with them if you are connected with them, because it's going to be the same thing again and again and again. That's just how they are. Unfortunately, there's no making friends with them and working it out with them. They don't change. They're not going to adapt. They're not going to learn from their mistakes. And they don't actually want to learn from their mistakes. They want you to be caught up in drama with them and caught up in a web with them, so to speak. Narcissists want you to sit down and shut up. They don't want you to be proactive within your own life. They don't want you to surpass them or go past them. The biggest fear of a narcissist is that you become better than them, so to speak. And when I say better than them, I'm not talking about, you may not look at it as better. So for example, if you've dealt with a narcissistic sociopath, now not all narcissists are sociopaths. In fact, it's probably a relatively small percentage. But with narcissists, narcissistic sociopaths, if you, let's say, don't have a criminal record and they do, for them, the joy is to have you get a criminal record. If you don't have a drug addiction and they do, they want you to get a drug addiction. And they actually put time and energy and thought and emotion into having you get this same problem that they have, and then want to switch roles with you and either say, see, look it, you're no better than I am, or want to switch roles to the public eye and act like you were always the one with the drug addiction. They were the one that was moral, or you were the one with the criminal record and you got them in trouble. Regardless of what type of narcissist that you're dealing with, they all don't want to see you reach your positive potential. If you have goals of going to school, they don't want you to go to school. If you have goals of starting a business, they don't want you to do that. If you're trying to be responsible, most of the time narcissists get very provoked and triggered when you are doing these things because they don't have that ability to self-regulate, to be responsible, to feel grounded and secure within themselves. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you later. And thanks so much